Of course, judge people. Of course, evaluate people. What the hell is wrong with you? Would you hug a homeless person who just pissed their pants, smelling like mad ass and pussy? Whatever you are, your world is yours. Would you? No, you wouldn't. Why? Because you would be using your faculty of judgment. So get out of here with all this weird judging people who judge people's shit. That's the most backward shit in the world. People who talk about other people's egos are using their ego to try to disarm other people's egos. People who judge people for judging people, people who judge people for judging people are judging people, right? So everybody's on this weird ass either being direct, confrontational, and out in the open, explicit, or you being passive aggressive, weird, and trying to imply shit. But everybody's trying to advance something, right? So now we get down to the heart and the matter of this shit. When you have higher standards, people with lower standards are going to feel offended. Why? Because they are less than what your standard is. And if you're a person who has higher standards, operates at higher standards, because many people feel that, you know, they have higher standards, but they just demand more of the world and less of themselves. When you demand more of yourself, and thus demand more of everything that you put around yourself, because I wouldn't put myself around less. So what I demand of myself, I demand of my environment. Hey, if my environment doesn't express that, I demand of myself to change my environment. Whatever you are, your world is yours. Do you understand the level of personal agency that I just explained in there? Anyway, you get down to the point. When you have higher standards than motherfuckers is going to say, oh, this person is perceived as toxic. I just have higher standards for myself than you. And also, I don't listen to people who are in lower conditions or who are as I don't want to be. You suck. Whatever you are, your world is yours. Your life is very marginal. Your life is very fractional. You don't have the amount of money you really want. You don't have the amount of money that I want. I don't give a fuck if you have the money you want. You don't have the amount of money that I want. You don't have the physique, the health that I want. You motherfuckers is less healthy than me, less wealthy than me, less enlightened than me. You don't know shit. So what the fuck do you think I'm about to listen to you for? Whatever you are, your world is yours. Now we have to understand as we move forward, we live in a world of people who shame people who feel shame. You should 1000% feel ashamed of being a fucking lame. You should 1000 times infinity plus 1% feel ashamed of being a fucking low-level loser. Whatever you are, your world is yours. Once the shame went out the window, you got motherfuckers hoeing, motherfuckers sloppy, motherfuckers drinking. There's no moral code no more. Motherfuckers ain't sticking to no code. Shame is a very powerful tool because shame is necessary for change. I was totally ashamed of myself, knowing that I'm this quote unquote melanated God or this high being and superior wisdom and higher knowledge, and you dumb bitch ass nigga, you sitting down drinking, you sitting down smoking a Newport, you dumbass, you still smoking blacks, you smoking jewels, motherfucker, you talking about this motherfucking Babylon system, nigga. You a slave to this shit because you choose to be, and you fucking complaining like a bitch. Whatever you are, your world is yours. You have to be ashamed of being such a bitch. I don't even make excuses. All excuses are confessions of inferiority, so I don't even make excuses, bro. You should be ashamed to be a person who even makes an excuse. You're just explaining failure. Every excuse is an explanation of failure, and still there is no achievement had. So you just wasted everybody's time. Whatever you are, your world is yours. When you get to the higher leagues, nobody gives a fuck about what your feelings or why you failed. You failed. Game over. Done. We need to win. We don't give a fuck about these whining, complaining ass bitches. Consider the vibrations phrase. Listen, judge the shit out of people. It's called constructive criticism because I provide a solution. If you don't recognize that it's not denigrating, it's elevating, I can pinpoint shit that obviously you're in denial about. You're not in any way, shape, or form at the highest level of performance, highest level of standard. You're not meeting the standards. You're not moving as effectively, efficiently. Your life sucks. If I were to have your life, I'd feel extremely stressed out. I would have mad shit to fix, and then I would fix it because of who I am. So whatever you are, your world is yours. You get to this point where you just reflect, and you have to become a person who's wise and uses their hakim, use their judgment, use their wisdom, and be able to actually live life. Fuck all these losers, bro. Fuck all of these losers. They shame people for being great, and then they promote people being mediocre. What the fuck is that? Who the fuck subscribes to that? Whatever you are, your world is yours. People with low ass expectations for themselves. You have to be willing to, one, accept that judgment exists. And if you don't recognize that, if you're watching this video and you're like, well, I don't want to judge, you're judging people who judge, so you can't escape it, and you're just a dumb fuck. Or ego this, ego that, get off my ego dick, put up some stats. You know what I'm saying? Like, what ego got to do with it? You feel me? If you're a positive, progressive, advancing individual, then really all you do is create positive karma. You cause nothing but prosperity for all, bring more life to all and less to none. So everything that you do and get done is actually an addition to the universe. So ego or no ego, it's not a matter of focusing on the ego. It's a matter of focusing on the quality of the individual's conduct. Superior conduct. And all of this has been a demonstration of superior existential competence, right? So what why your world is yours? Stop fucking around with people who are on lower standards. Get around people who operate at higher standards. We exist, you feel me? And at the same point, you look around and recognize that the worst thing about poor people, and when I say poor, 99.9% of people jump to fiscal, financial, monetary ideas of poverty. I'm talking about existentially. Physically poor, mentally poor, existential conditions poor, before the money. People who waste time, people who waste life, people who make poor decisions, people who just put energy into things and end up losing energy, people who don't live profitably. Read my book, How to Not Be Poor. I wrote 5 books in a year. You're not on my level. You have to get on this level. You know what I'm saying? That is if you feel like you're worth more. Motherfuckers out here want something for nothing. No, you have to give to receive. You have to be to receive. Anyway, you get down to this point. The reason that these people, the funniest thing about these poor people, all poor people, the funniest thing about all poor people is that they really think that they're right. They truly believe that they are correct. And the funniest thing is when they interact with an individual like myself, who has constructive criticism, who can see their flaws and who can provide immediate solutions, they polarize themselves by thinking that they're correct and descend in the scale of evolution. So instead of taking the opportunity to elevate, they perceive it as a denigration instead of an opportunity for elevation. And then they polarize themselves because they think they're correct into solidifying their poor belief and thus becoming a more crystallized poor person. It's the weirdest phenomena. If you pay attention to this shit, people are winning in life. People are prospering in life. People are succeeding in life. People are profiting in life. And you are failing. You are doing so bad. And if you really want to be better, if you need to be better, if you wake up and see value in your life, because motherfuckers don't have no self-esteem, that's just what it is. Like, let's call that for what it is. A lot of people just don't believe or know their worth. You feel me? I had a conversation where I always say this, there's no other Sheikhy Chic. Everybody knows this, you know what I mean? You could be in denial about it, but there's no other Sheikhy Chic on a genetic level. And my psyche, my psychology, my personality, the richness of my personality, my social rearing, my experiences that I've embodied and hybridized into what you see as who is expressing themselves. Not only is what I am induplicable, who I am is extremely rare and induplicable. There's no one else like me on 2 levels right there. You feel me? Existentially, ontologically. You get to this point where I'm telling somebody, hey, ain't nobody like me on this planet. They want to assert that there are more, that, you know what I mean? Like, and they feel like that's a level of arrogance. No, it's a level of self-awareness, factual self-awareness, and a level of self-esteem. Motherfuckers be trying to chop down your self-esteem because they don't have it, but also because they don't recognize that they are possible of actually embodying what you just said, and they believe because they're a self-centered individual that you're reserving that projection for yourself. You're reserving that conception for yourself. No, you're just as induplicable combination of genetic material and will never be seen again in the history of the universe from the earliest recesses of 13.8 billion until this shit fizzles out. There will never be another one like you. So you are already born intrinsically rare. Now, who you are and your mental programming, you could be one of these generic NPC dumb fucks who don't actually think for themselves, who think that they think but really aren't thinking, who haven't designed their own mind, who aren't designing their own paradigm, who are not living conscientious, who are not living conscious, who are not living intentional, who are not designing their paradigm to the tailorings of the specifications of their true desires. You could be one of those motherfuckers, generic, Or you can be designer. You can be highly refined, cultivated to the highest degree. Whatever why your world is yours, it's up to you. Consider the vibrations raised. Listen, they're going to judge the judges, you judging. So you really should judge yourself. They're going to comment on ego from their ego. What the fuck does any of this have to do with anything? Whatever why your world is yours, you realize that if we all shut the fuck up and we no longer had the ability to speak, which means we no longer had the ability to argue, right? Then we would all know what the fuck is up. We wouldn't have to speak about nothing. Everything would be self-evident. So really, you realize that the ability to speak is a secondary level of evolution that people are using to delude themselves into believing what they want to believe, but not perceiving what's in front of their fucking face. Whatever why your world is yours. If we could never speak again, there will be people getting shit done and there will be people looking dumb as fuck. Everything would still be happening. So it's not even a matter of conversation or argument. You trying to argue, you wasting time. I don't argue. Whatever why your world is yours. God don't negotiate, homie. The laws of the universe are the laws of the universe. Once you know them, you don't have to argue. Everybody else who doesn't align themselves suffers accordingly. Suffer as you wish. Who gives a fuck? Whatever why your world is yours. Consider the vibrations raised. Evolution, only solution. Self-mastery, only success. Get around people who really empower themselves, 1. 2, believe in themselves. 3, know that they are worth more and are willing to work more and earn more. You know what I'm saying? And get away from people who shame success. Get away from people who judge people who have higher standards for having higher standards. What the fuck is that? That's weird. Get away from complacent individuals who accept everything as it is. You weak ass weirdo motherfucker. I'm trying to make shit better. I got this amount of time on life and I'm gonna just keep making it better. Nothing's ever enough. I don't care. I'm okay with it not being okay. And once you get okay with it not being okay, then you're like, oh my God, this is so great. I can just make everything exactly how I want it to be. Oh, I can make this better. I can make this better. Evolution, perpetuity, exactly. Nothing's ever perfect, only perfecting. Anyway, and then get away from people who shame people who feel ashamed for being whack. Y'all get people to talk y'all into staying in lower levels and then you go against your heart. There's a conflict inside. The heart never lies. You feel me? So follow your heart and actually become who the fuck you want to be. The only thing that would be stopping you, that is stopping you, is fear. Procrastination is proof of fear. Hesitation is proof of fear. Because why the fuck are we even talking anymore? Are you ready to level up or are you going to stay stuck? Consider the vibrations raised.